Hello, everyone. So, the finale of She Hulk just aired today on Disney Plus. This whole series was 9 episodes long, each episode kind of around the 35-minute mark. Of course, you'll find it on Disney Plus through the Marvel channel, and this has been an entire series devoted to Bruce Banner's cousin Jennifer Walters, also known as AKA She Hulk. So, I had my concerns about so the first episode I did an episode one review, and now that the entire season's done, did my whole I'm about to do my whole review for all 9 episodes of She-Hulk that are, of course, streaming now on Disney Plus. So without further ado, let me get into it. So one of the things that worried me a little bit jumping into this series was that it didn't really seem like a whole lot of plot was going to be there in the show, and that kind of remains the case for a lot of the show, where each episode was kind of a fun new thing that was going on in Jennifer's life. And again, too, while I find this fun, I found that it was devoid of a lot of things that really could have built up the Marvel universe, and it seemed like they're going for a Planet Hulk storyline very early on. That I'm not going to get into spoilers within this review, but I just found that all the things that they did for building up the Marvel Cinematic Universe were just little placements or like mentions here and there that came so quick without any context. And that has always been the type of Marvel storytelling that I haven't been a fan of. Of course, like I like sitting there expecting the after credit scenes, but I always find them just a way to shoehorn things into the cinematic universe really quickly without, again, way too much context, build up, things like that. So I do have a lot of gripes with this show when it comes to that form of storytelling that it does, where just basically feeding you little information and kind of expecting you to accept it straight away was something that I wasn't really a big fan of. Again, too, I find it's a bit of a lazy way of storytelling, and while they could have had so many more interesting plot lines, maybe stretch this out through a couple of seasons, it was just way too quick for it to really be meaningful to me in a lot of ways. Of course, there's things that got me excited. It's like cameo appearances from Daredevil, Abomination, all these people I thought were handled decently well. And again, too, this is just showing you the more fun side of Marvel, but with a lot of the things that they set up, I just don't feel like it should have been done at this way at all. Yeah, it was just a little tough for me to get into with the pacing that they had throughout the entirety of the show. I do think the performances in this were very, very good. I found that Jennifer Walters was a very fun character to watch and interact with. The jokes that she cracked were actually really, really funny a lot of the times, especially within the last episode. But the finale is also something that I have a kind of big problem with in this show as well, where I really don't like it when shows give you action sequences, things like that, all these build up and then completely scrap everything. Again, I'm not going to get into too much context for spoiler's sake, but again, I found the idea that they had was fun, but it was something that took me out of the show and the reality and the stakes of everything. I just, again, too, I feel like there's better ways to do what it was trying to do, and even though it was kind of funny in its sense, it just didn't really. Again, it just felt like something that was shoehorned in there to make people laugh, happy. There's just a lot of things that I found that could have been so much better if they didn't stick to that fourth wall breaking type storyline of just again shoehorning things in is kind of what that relates back to for me. Again, too, there's just a lot of things that I thought were handled really great. I really like the portrayal of Daredevil within the MCU so far. It's straight out of the comics. I mean, he would always quirk and quip a lot of the times when he would team up with other superheroes, and it's no different here. I love the costume design. I think it's super impressive on Charlie Cox's behalf that he's able to pull off multiple iterations of the same character. It just goes to show how well he understands the character and how much he loves the role. And yeah, I love the extremely acrobatic Daredevil style of this Daredevil, where I think he's awesome, and I'm very, very excited to see more of this style of Daredevil within the MCU. I think it's going to fit better when he teams up with people like Team Red with Deadpool and Spider-Man and just all these other characters. The abilities that they gave him, basically the big power boost that they gave him, I think is going to fit very, very well. And just his, again, more laid back personality than what he had in the show is going to work very, very well. But I do think, again, too, kind of like how it was in the storylines, quirk, quip, do all these things when he teamed up with people, but his own storylines were very, very dark and they got into some brutal things. And I think they're going to keep that again with Daredevil Born Again. So I did appreciate the setup in this, and I found that that worked very, very well. Again, too, there was just great commentary about a lot of things in the MCU within this show, where it came to again to just giving a very brand new and very acceptable kind of point of view from Emil Blonsky, Abomination, within this that I thought was something very, very cool. Wong was a fun little iteration, even though he was just kind of there for jokes and whatnot. It was cool to see him again. I think it's too just some of the social commentary about women in film and teams and law firms, just a lot of things in the workplace I found was actually very good commentary and very, very acceptable. I know there's been a lot of debate about that online, but it's good commentary and it's something that I did quite enjoy. It's not like it's not in your face. It's not telling you you're a bad person, you're wrong. It's just trying to let people know how again their actions will affect people, how the words will affect people, the whole thing with intelligentsia and things like that. I thought it was great commentary and again too fun in a lot of times, very real in a lot of times, and it really dove just into the harm that's sites and mentalities like that can cause. I thought it was very, very good commentary, and I would recommend it to people. Okay, too. It's just I don't like how the storyline ended because it was so quick and it brushed over a lot of things that I think needed to be said, could have been said. It's just there was so much more there that the show could have tapped into. But really, like without going into spoilers, I feel like that's really the most that I can say about this. So with everything taken together, I'm gonna have to give She-Hulk and Disney Plus a 6 out of 10. I would recommend it if you're a fan of Marvel, if you want to see Daredevil, all these things. I feel like a lot of the episodes could be something if you love Wong, if you love Daredevil, you could just watch certain episodes and not really miss out on a lot of what the show did because again, so each episode kind of feels like its own thing and by kind of the end goal, it doesn't exactly feel like again a lot was here within this show, but I would recommend it if you're a big fan of Marvel. Again, too, the commentary I found was really, really good. There's some great sequences. There's times where the show does really work, but overall, again, too, it just felt very sloppily put together, messy put together. There wasn't really a lot of context or anything big that the show was going to do for the MCU, which I know a lot of people have been saying about the entirety of Phase 4 right now. So, again, I really liked the introduction of the characters. I really liked, again, too, just some of the pacing and some of what the show tried to set up. It's just I feel like there needed to be a lot more there. And for this being a 9 episode show, I definitely expected it to do a lot more for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you've seen all 9 episodes of She-Hulk on Disney Plus, please let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up and you can check out everything I do on this channel. I'll link some playlists up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing. Turn that little ring around so you know when I upload new videos. And if you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community, help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time sinking into the silence.